So in this video, we will learn how to factor quadratic equations. So the two formulas that you need to know is a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Now the other formula that you need to know is the difference of perfect squares, and that is a squared minus b squared is equal to, actually we don't need the brackets, is equal to a minus b into a plus b. So these are two formulas that you need to know. Now let's start with the questions. So I have pasted the two formulas on the top right just for a quick referral. Now let's start with the questions. So let's see, x squared minus 36 is equal to 0. So how do you think we should start with this? If you notice that we have the exact equation for the difference of perfect square, which is a squared minus b squared, where a here is x and b here will be 6, and we can factor this in this format. So a, which is x minus 6, and then x plus 6 was equal to 0, and now we know that x can be either 6 or x can be negative 6, and that's it. So the final answer would be x is equal to 6 or x is equal to negative 6. Since we need to equate it 0, so either of these brackets can be 0, and x minus 6 is equal to 0, and then x is 6, and for the other one x plus 6 is equal to 0. So x has to be negative 6 here. So let's move on to the next question. Here we have 4x squared minus 36 is equal to 0, and we notice that we cannot use the formula right away. So another thing that we can do here is we can factor the 4 outside. So it will be 4 into x squared minus 9, and 36 divided by 4 is 9, is equal to 0. So now you can see that this is a difference of perfect square. So it will be 4 into x minus 3 and x plus 3 is equal to 0. So now you can equate the brackets to 0. So you will get x is either equal to 3 or x is equal to negative 3. So let's move on to the next question. Here we have 16x squared minus 81 is equal to 0. So here we can directly use the difference of perfect square. So it will become 4x minus 9. Since the square root of 16 is 4, x squared is going to be x, and 81 is 9, into 4x plus 9 is equal to 0. And now you can equate both of the brackets to 0. So it will become 4x minus 9 is equal to 0, and 4x plus 9 is equal to 0, and therefore 4x is equal to 9 over 4 over 4. So x is equal to 9 over 4, or it is equal to negative 9 over 4. So now, what if we have a trinomial? And the most important thing is to see if the coefficient of the x squared is 1 or something else. So when it's 1, we can use a very simple method, which is as follows. So what two numbers multiply to negative 15 and add up to negative 2? So we can write all the factors for negative 15. It's going to be starting from 1, 15, 2, there's no 2, there's 3 and 5. So you notice that minus 3 and 5 are gonna give you negative 2. I mean minus 5 and 3 plus 3. And once you multiply 3 and multiply it by negative 5, that will also give you negative 15. So we know the two factors here. So it's gonna become x plus 3 and x minus 5 equal to 0. And now you can equate both of the brackets to 0. So x is either negative 3 or x is 5. Now remember, this method only works, you can only use this method once if the coefficient of x squared is 1. Let's do more examples on this. So here we have x squared plus 3x minus 28 is equal to 0. So same steps again. Find two factors which multiply to negative 28 and add up to plus 3. So let's write it over here. It's going to be 128, 1 times 28, 2 times 14, 3 times, okay, this is not 3, this is 4 times 7, and we realize that if we do minus 4 multiplied by positive 7, that's going to give you minus 28, and the difference of 7 minus 4 is 3. So we know our factors now. So it's going to become x minus 4 into x plus 7 is equal to 0. And now again the same step, equate this to 0, you will get x is equal to 4, and equate this to 0, you will get x is equal to minus 7. So x is either equal to 4 or minus 7. So now what if the leading coefficient of x squared is not equal to 1? So let's say 8x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. So we cannot use that same method from before, which we find two factors for negative 15, since the coefficient of x squared is 8 here, it's not 1. So another way we can solve this equation is take the leading coefficient of x squared and multiply it by the 15, so the last here. So it will become x squared plus 2x minus 15 times 8 is going to be 120, I think. Let me recheck. Yes, and now we use that same method from before, where we find two factors which multiply to negative 120 and add up to 2. So here we can quickly find all the factors for 120. So it's around going to be, let's go directly to 340, 4 is going to be 30, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, and was going to be 10 and 12. So now you need to know which is the negative. So it's going to be the smaller number is negative. So now it will become x minus 10 into x plus 12. Since if you do 12 minus 10, it's going to give you 2. And if you multiply 12 multiplied by negative 10, it's going to give you negative 120. So now the next step is, since we multiplied 8 by negative 15 here, we are going to divide these two numbers by 8. So just simplify this now. So it's going to be x minus 5 over 4, and here you're going to get x plus divided by 4, so it's going to give you 3 over 2 is equal to 0. And now the last step which is left is to take the denominator and multiply it by x here, and the same thing for the second brackets. So the final answer, or the final equation, will be 4x minus 5 into 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now you can equate both of these to 0. So I'm going to write it over here. So 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. X is going to be equal to 5 over 4, and the other is going to be 2x is equal to minus 3, and x is going to be equal to minus 3 over 2, and those are the two factors. So let's do one more example for this type of question. 6x squared minus 5x minus 4 is equal to 0. So again, the same steps. We take 6 and multiply it by negative 4, so it will become x squared minus 5x minus 24 is equal to 0. Now two factors. So let's write the factors for negative 24. Is going to be 2 and negative 12, 3 and negative 8, and yeah, so these are the two numbers. If added, 3 minus 8 is negative 5, and 3 multiplied by negative 8 is negative 24. So now we do x plus 3 and into x minus 8 is equal to 0. Now again the same step from before, we multiplied this part by 6, so we're going to divide these two numbers by 6 now and simplify it. So it's going to be x plus half into x minus 4 over 3 is equal to 0. Now we take the denominator and multiply it by the x here, so we will be left with 2x plus 1 into 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, so 2x is equal to negative 1, divide by 2 both sides, so x is equal to minus 1 over 2 for one of the x's. Now for the other one, we are going to do 3x minus 4 is equal to 0, 3x is equal to 4, x is equal to 4 over 3, and this is the answer. So now let's repeat the question, but instead use the perfect square formula. So now let's use the quadratic equation to get the same answers. So the formula for the quadratic equation is x is equal to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So here x is equal to minus b, so it's going to be plus 5 plus minus radical b squared is going to be 25 minus 4. I'm going to do this on the side, so minus 4, a is 6 and c is minus 4, and this will give you the answer of 24 multiplied by negative 4 is negative 96. So here is going to become plus 96 since there are two minus signs over 2a, which is 12. Now you can either type this on your calculator and get the exact answer immediately. So here it will be 5. I'm going to do plus first and then minus down. So 5 plus radical of 25 plus 96 is 121 over 12. Now this is going to be 11. So 16 over 12 is 4 over 3. So one of our answers is correct. Now do the same steps, but instead the minus sign, since there is plus minus here. So 5 minus 11 over 12. So this will be 5 minus 11 is 6 over 12, minus 6 over 12, and that is minus 1 over 2. So now we verified our answers that they are correct. And yeah, so if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section. And I almost forgot to mention that you can also do this directly on the calculator. So there is a shortcut method. You should have the which function is this? Equation function in your menu on your calculator. If you go there, click on that, it will give you two options here, which is the Simon equation and the polynomial. So you click on polynomial and it will ask you the degree of x here. So our highest degree of x here is 2. So you will choose 2 then, and it will give you the format that you need to enter. So here we need to enter the coefficient of x squared on the calculator. It's going to be 6 and then minus 5 and then minus 4. And once you do that and you click equals to, it will give you the exact answer for the roots, which is 4 over 3, and for x2 it is minus 1 over 2. So I'll be making a short video on how to do this on the calculator to show you guys, of course. It's more easier to see something. And thanks for watching.